Hey everyone, a friend reached out to me yesterday because their Coinbase account had just been hacked. They did everything right as well as I can understand it and they can understand it. They walked me through their security protocol. They had two-factor authentication set up, but somehow, some way, hackers either got access to their password manager or they got access to their, got something plugged in to the ecosystem that would allow them to get text messages with the two-factor authentication code. We don't know. I don't know. They don't know. Anyway, but hopefully they will get their money back. Coinbase tried to stop the withdrawals, and it looks like they did. So hopefully, fingers crossed, say a prayer, that they will get their funds back. I think there's a, very good chance they will get their funds back. So that's very good. And Coinbase said they caught it in time that they should be able to return those funds. So I think there's a, close to 100% chance they will get their funds back. But that whole ordeal is not something anyone wants to go through. You do not want to wake up in the morning, reach over, grab your phone, and realize that you have an email. One email that says you just sold all your Bitcoin to US dollars. A second email saying you just added a bank account that you don't recognize to your Coinbase account. A third email saying you just added a second bank account you don't recognize to your Coinbase account. A fourth email saying you have withdrawn all of your funds to these two bank accounts. And all those email alerts coming from Coinbase because the account got hacked. And then you log in and yep, right there it is. The Bitcoin was liquidated and the withdrawals have started. Now, again, Coinbase looks like they were able to stop it in time to block the withdrawals before they actually processed, but that's just not something anybody wants to have to deal with. So what is the answer to all that? Well, glad you asked. That is why BitKey exists, BITKEY.world, bitkey.world. The link is in, the video description. So BitKey helps you secure your Bitcoin, and it does that in two ways. One, it keeps hackers and scammers from getting a hold of it, but also, and very importantly, it also puts your Bitcoin 100% in your own control, which means nobody can block you from sending transactions. Not only can your Bitcoin not be taken away by scammers and hackers, also, it cannot be taken away by, people who accuse you of wrongdoing when you didn't do it, or you can't have your account frozen, or you can't have, your account shut down arbitrarily. So it just lets you be your own bank. And it's just super important that if you have Bitcoin and you have a decent amount of Bitcoin, it is absolutely vital, in my opinion, that you have that Bitcoin in your control. If somebody calls me and says something bad happened, if their Bitcoin was on BitKey, I know we're good. There's no way a hacker or a scammer is going to get your Bitcoin on BitKey unless they sweet talk you into sending it to them, which is obviously very difficult to do. It is much more difficult to sweet talk someone into sending their Bitcoin to a scammer than it is to compromise an account or to trick somebody into giving access to their account. So with BitKey, it's very clear. If you're sending the Bitcoin somewhere else, it's very clear that's what you're doing. Additionally, I get questions now and then. Give me 1 second here. About where to store a BitKey device. So if you have enough Bitcoin that it really matters and you want to sort of make it harder for somebody to get to it, I recommend you store it somewhere safe and secure, like the safe deposit box at a bank. Most banks will give you a safe deposit box for something like $30 a year. That's like $2, maybe $3 a month to have a safe deposit box. And the benefit of a safe deposit box is your BitKey is not with you. Now, you can set up a transfer limit that you can transfer without your BitKey. So, for example, you can say, look, let's use a random number. Let's say you have $10,000 of Bitcoin. And let's say that the most you would ever want to transfer at one time is maybe $500 or $1,000. Well, you can actually set up your BitKey with a $500 daily transfer limit that, where you can transfer that without having the BitKey device. That way, even though BitKey is essentially impossible for scammers or hackers to get a hold of, if somehow something bad happens, the most you would ever lose, like let's say somebody holds you up at a gas station and says, send me Bitcoin and hand me your wallet and I'm going to take your money or whatever. Well, the most you can possibly send them with your phone is $500. And if you need to move more than $500, you can either go get your BitKey from a safe deposit box at a bank, or from a friend's house in a gun safe, or somewhere else that's super secure that's just not where you are. That helps for a couple reasons. One, if somebody calls you out of the blue and tries to sweet talk you claiming your account's been hacked and you need to move your funds over to a secure account, or they claim they're from Coinbase and they want you to move your funds, quote, back to Coinbase, which of course just means they're scamming or hacking you, you have the ability in that situation to say, well, I can't do that. The most of my $10,000 I can move is $500. And otherwise, you have to go to the bank and get your BitKey and all that. And in the process of doing that, you're probably going to have the bright idea, wait a second, I might be talking to a scammer. Like, this is crazy. Or if it's a night or a weekend, which is when scammers typically call people, it's like, well, I can't even go get my BitKey because it's at a safe deposit box and the bank is closed. So there's a lot of ways to secure your wealth. BitKey is by far the best way to do it. And especially if you keep your BitKey in a safe deposit box at a bank or at a friend's house or something like that, then it's just one extra layer of security, because even you can't get a hold of your Bitcoin immediately. It requires you to travel somewhere. Now, in my case, I have an extremely elaborate setup that involves dogs and armed guards and a bunch of crazy stuff that I'm not going to go into. So you can go crazy with your setup with, just making it very, very, very difficult for you yourself to get access to your own BitKey, and forcing somebody who wants it to run a gauntlet of, everything from armed concealed carry to armed guards to dogs to, biometric identification. Like, you can really sort of get carried away with it. But for the average person, that is just trying to secure their Bitcoin, it's super simple. Here's the BitKey device. If you keep it at your house, it's safe from scammers and hackers. If you keep it somewhere other than your house, it's even safe for people who break in while you're at home. And if they break in while you're not at home, it doesn't matter, because the BitKey device has a fingerprint reader on it anyway, so they can't do anything with it. So scammers and hackers are everywhere. Way more prevalent. You have to worry about scammers and hackers way, way, way more than you have to worry about anything else with your Bitcoin. I would say scammers and hackers are by far the number one threat to Bitcoin right now. Way, 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 way down the list is that you might get your account frozen if you're storing your Bitcoin at Coinbase or Gemini or Kraken or any of the other exchanges. And then way, 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 way down the list below that is that there's any sort of a threat of a physical attack, or somebody holds you up at a gas station, or, whatever it is that people do to steal wallets these days in the real world. But BitKey thought of all that, because you can set that daily spending limit where you say, look, if you got $10,000 of Bitcoin, you can set it, say, I can move $500 a day. If you don't ever want to go to the bank, you can move your entire $10,000 over the course of 20 days. But if somehow something bad happens and you get, again, held up at a gas station, even though that's not going to happen to you, then the most you can possibly transfer is $500. So the vast majority of your Bitcoin is safe, because you can only do that much a day. And let's say you have a car repair and you need to liquidate $1,000 of Bitcoin to do it. Great. It only takes you 2 days to do that. You transfer $500 of Bitcoin, and then you wait 24 hours. And as soon as you pass 1 minute past 24 hours, you can transfer another $500. So BitKey is a very brilliant way of making your Bitcoin very secure, making it easy to get to whatever amount you want to be able to get to, on a daily limit basis, but requiring you to have physical access to touch the device to move a lot of Bitcoin. Again, it's just a brilliant way of securing your Bitcoin from scammers and hackers. And as long as your BitKey is not with you, and obviously you should not carry it with you on your person, because the whole point is you don't do that. So it should not be in your car. It should not be on your person. So that protects you from when you're out and about, because you literally don't even have it with you. And if you're worried, if you live in a bad part of town and you're worried about getting held up at home, great. Then just keep your BitKey not at home. Keep it at a friend's house, or if one of your friends is super into the Second Amendment and would love the chance to intercede on your behalf with a bad guy, if they got a gun safe, keep it there, or keep it just somewhere. A safe deposit box at a bank is a great opportunity, or a great option, because safe deposits at a bank require you to come in, show ID, and obviously banks have armed security cameras and all that sort of thing. So please secure your Bitcoin with BitKey. It is worth it. It's only $150, and it absolutely positively guarantees that your Bitcoin is not going to get scammed, and it's not going to get hacked, and it's just all around way better to do that. So happy Bitcoining, everyone. And if you need help, with any of this, please let me know. I am here to help, and everything I do is always free. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks.